A courageous whistleblower in Ukraine, on the verge of exposing a vast child trafficking and adrenochrome network tied to elite politicians and Hollywood celebrities, has been assassinated in a brutal car bomb attack. Just days before he was set to testify against President Zelensky and the Kiev regime, his voice was silenced. But the truth doesn't die so easily. Who wanted him silenced? What explosive secrets was he about to expose? And just how far does this conspiracy reach? All signs point straight to the highest levels of power, from Washington, D.C. to the heart of Hollywood. Stay with us as we expose the shocking truths the media is desperate to bury. Before we dive in, join the People's Voice Locals community if you haven't already, and sign up to become a member of the world's first ever cyber nation that truly believes in life, liberty, and the pursuit of your dreams. Visit joson.com and click the Join Us button today. It's completely free. The elites in Hollywood and DC have been feeling the effects of Putin shutting down child factory farms in Ukraine over the past 2 years, and they began moving their operations elsewhere, including within the United States and Mexico. However, the Trump presidency has launched a powerful wave of law enforcement action, targeting the horrific epidemic of child trafficking in the United States. Now, the elites who thought they were untouchable are finding themselves cornered, and they are becoming desperate to keep their secrets hidden. Former MP Andrew Bridgen is speaking out, joining Liz Gunn to reveal what he knows about the Ukrainian whistleblower killed in a car bomb attack just days before he was set to expose the Ukrainian elite's role in the child trafficking trade.
The evidence came from 2 insiders in Ukraine who were in Ukrainian secret services, and they were collecting the children, mainly from the Donbass. There's 9,000 children from the Donbass never been found, disappeared.
Wow.
These two Ukrainian secret service agents didn't know each other. They both supplied exactly the same information. I gave it to the government and the National Crime. My intermediary source, having passed all this evidence to the National Crime Agency, 2 days later, their LinkedIn profile was checked out on their social media by someone who worked at the company that we'd implicated in laundering the money to pay for the children. So someone at the National Crime Agency had told the company we tipped them off about, and they were checking out somebody in my organisation. That and never had any links with them before. Now, the 2 Secret Service agents in Ukraine, both of them had car bombs put under their cars. One's dead and one's survived. He's in hiding. And those brave people in Ukraine who were doing the right thing risked their lives to get that information to the British authorities through me, and nobody would do anything.
As more dark connections continue to surface linking the global elite with the adrenochrome trade, investigators are being confronted with disturbing questions. How far will these powerful figures go to protect their secrets? As Bridgen reveals, speaking out against child trafficking trade comes at a deadly cost. Whistleblowers and reporters are putting their very lives on the line.
I can send you the clip of one of them getting into his car and exploding. It's on security camera. I'll send it to you.
The legacy media is controlled by the global elite, and they are protecting Ukraine's Kiev regime, while enjoying the illicit rewards of their international child trafficking and adrenochrome trade. Sometimes there's no option but to go public with damning evidence when the authorities are determined to cover up the crime on behalf of the perpetrators, as Bridgen explains.
What is the way you can get this out?
We'll have to go public with it. We'll have to go public with it and get it out there. That's what we're going to have to do.
And what I say to anybody thinking, well, let's silence Andrew Bridgen, if anything happens to Andrew Bridgen, there'll be thousands of us, millions of us around the world saying, who is responsible for that? Because now you've said this, it in a way makes you safer, because now all of our eyes are on you to make sure that you
I've got what we were talking about holding those who've been responsible for crimes against the people to account legally, not going through a public inquiry. Next week, I should be able to make a very important announcement about that as well, which I can't talk about now, but we're working hard on that situation, and it goes right to the top.
Bridgen is showing real courage by speaking out with such explosive information. But he's not alone. He has powerful allies backing him up. The Trump administration, with key figures like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Hollywood ambassador Mel Gibson, are fully aware of the reality behind the adrenochrome trade and child trafficking industry. They're not just informed, they're ready to take action.
I would say to anybody who is thinking of anything nefarious, when I put Jay Bhattacharya in touch with Andrew Bridgen, Jay's comment to me was, I cannot wait to talk to Andrew Bridgen, a man I have admired so much. So, Andrew, your protection goes right to the upper levels of the new Trump administration, and they will not allow anybody to get away with harming you. So,
when I was spuriously thrown out of the Conservative Party in early 2023 over my comments around the safety and efficacy of the vaccines, the only politician who contacted me and offered support was actually a US presidential candidate. It was Robert Kennedy Jr. He rang me on my mobile and offered his personal support. So I've got a vested interest, and I think the world has, and all those who want to see the truth come out, just pray and hope that we get some good news later today or tomorrow this week, and that we've got Robert Kennedy Jr. making America healthy again and the world healthy again and exposing the truth.
RFK Jr. knows the truth. Mel Gibson knows the truth. And the powerful elites, feeding on the sinister empire of child exploitation, are growing desperate, resorting to assassinations, cover-ups, and mass censorship to keep their secrets buried. Because if the truth ever escapes, and the public uncovers the real nature of their crimes against children, the fallout will be devastating. The powerful will be torn from their ivory towers, ripped apart limb by limb, and the streets will run red with the blood of their betrayal. And if you think that's hyperbole, what we're about to reveal next will shock you to your core. Stay with us. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. Under Biden, the price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with pillsforever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this testimony of Joe Tippins, a cancer survivor, thanks to fenbendazole.
2 years ago, Joe Tippins says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippins says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine. Specifically, fenbendazole.
My insurance company spent $1.2 million on me with traditional means before I switched to a $5 a week medicine that actually saved me.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkout. Please click the link below this video to take advantage of this fantastic offer. Protected by the corrupt elite and the complicit media, the murderers of the brave whistleblower thought they had carried out the perfect crime. But they made a fatal misjudgment. They underestimated us. There are those among us who cannot be bought out. There are those among us who will fight to the bitter end to expose their lies and serve them with justice. Whistleblowers are coming forward one by one, and try as they might, they will not be able to silence us all.
The kids' clients are very rich. They even come in their own private jets and helicopters from fuck who knows where. They are picked up at different locations, filthy rich. They pay a fortune to spend time with a child. Everything's arranged with the medical team. They know the child will not survive. And if it becomes crippled for life, nobody's going to look after it. So it immediately becomes an organ donor. Those brothels have branches all over the world, with operating rooms. They are high security sites. Few people know about them. There are no regular brothels. We're talking about huge money here, so they are perfectly organized. It's not just some dude or madam sitting there. It's all professionally set up.
Like a corporation?
Yes, like a corporation. As complex as a corporation. There must be a medical team on standby. Someone must look after those kids. Someone must organize. The transplants and everything. There must also be someone that helps them. Search clients for the organs out. It will continue.
Ukraine may be the epicenter of this dark industry, but the demand is staggering. The elites have set up operations in the US and Mexico to serve the market for children, their bodies and their blood. Former CIA officer Robert David Still, a long-term friend of TPV, blew the whistle on this horrific network just before he was found dead under highly suspicious circumstances.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation. It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse. It's also child torture because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world. All of the United Nations organizations, the Boy Scouts of America, all of the child services agencies across the United States of America, they did not start out as organizations to prey on children, but they attract pedophiles. And ultimately, pedophiles end up rising in the ranks and controlling those organizations, so that an organization that initially started out in the service of children becomes an organization that is in fact hunting.
No wonder the globalist elite have instructed their propagandists in the legacy media to ramp up the war against free speech. They have far too much to lose if the mainstream public ever wake up and understand that the truth is far darker than their worst nightmares. Take a look at this disturbing moment on CBS, when host Margaret Brennan literally claimed that the Holocaust was caused by too much free speech and a lack of government censorship.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship was specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history.
They can try to silence the truth and rewrite history to fit their corrupt agenda, but it won't work. The truth always finds a way to surface. As Winston Churchill said, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. These are critical times, and here at TPV Towers, we are determined to expose the elite and hold them to account before it's too late. Join us in our mission to wake up the masses by subscribing to the channel and joining the People's Voice Locals community to join our amazing team. I hope to see you there. Today's video is brought to you by IPv6ers. Are you a content creator who wants to publish information online without Big Brother spying and censoring your every move? IPv6ers is set to revolutionize the way information is disseminated on the internet by eliminating the need for big tech companies to provide unreliable, overpriced services such as self-hosting, email, and data management. IPv6ers enables an easy and accessible way for you to host your own web and email server with direct end-to-end connections and enhanced security. This means no snooping from Big Brother and no interference from the technocratic elite. If Hillary Clinton can get away with running her own server, Why shouldn't you? Go to thepeoplesvoice.tv/IPv6 to sign up, or click the link below this video to take back control of the internet and win the info wars against the globalists. If you like our content, help support our sponsor IPv6ers and go to thepeoplesvoice.tv/IPv6 today. Thank you IPv6ers for making this video possible.